Good morning, grandchildren. It's Wednesday morning, and have I got a new book for you? Jeremy Fisher. That's right. Jeremy Fisher is an interesting creature. The Tale of Jeremy Fisher. All right, let's read about Jeremy. Once upon a time, there was a frog called Mr. Jeremy Fisher. He lived in a little house at the edge of a pond. Although Mr. Jeremy liked getting his feet wet, nobody ever scolded him. He never caught a cold. There's Mr. Jeremy Fisher hanging his foot in the water, reading his newspaper in his little house. Mr. Jeremy Fisher was quite pleased when he saw large drops of rain splashing in the pond. "I will get some worms and go fishing for minnow," he said. "If I catch more than 5, I will invite my friends, Mr. Alderman Ptolemy Tortoise and Sir Isaac Newton." So, a tortoise and a newt. That's interesting. All right. So here he is digging for worms. And see, there's a worm, and there's a drink glass, and there's a bucket that says worms on it. So he's going fishing for minnow. Mr. Jeremy put on his raincoat and galoshes. He grabbed his fishing rod and basket and set off with enormous hops for his boat. Mr. Jeremy's boat was round and green and looked like the water lilies in his pond. Aha! Look at his boat. It is a water lily. He seems to always have his drink with him there, doesn't he? Here's his basket, his fishing pole, and his float. He's going fishing. Oh yeah, you can come fishing in the pond here anytime you want. We have big catfish out there, very big. Mr. Jeremy took a reed pole and pushed into open water. "I know a good place for minnow," he said, and he settled himself cross-legged. His rod was a tough stalk of grass. The line was a fine, long white horsehair to which he tied a wiggling worm. The rain trickled down his back for an hour. "This is getting tiresome," said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. "I should like some lunch. I will eat a butterfly sandwich and wait till the shower is over." Oh, look at him fishing. It's raining and he's getting hungry. He still has his drink sitting there beside him, but he's not catching anything. He's going to eat a butterfly sandwich. I wonder what that tastes like. Don't say butterfly. While he ate, a big water beetle swam up under the lily pad and tweaked to the toe of his galoshes. Then something splashed at the side of the pond. "I trust that it is not a rat," said Mr. Jeremy. "I think I'd better get away from here." There's the big water bug that swam up. Here he is eating his butterfly sandwich, and of course, he has his drink with him. But he heard something splash, so he's getting out of there. Mr. Jeremy found a new spot to drop his bait. "A minnow! A minnow!" cried Jeremy Fisher. But when he jerked his rod, he had a horrible surprise. Instead of a smooth, flat minnow, he landed a little jack sharp, a spiny stickleback. The stickleback floundered about in the boat until he was quite out of breath, then jumped back into the water. And a school of little fish stuck their heads out and laughed at Mr. Jeremy Fisher. Ooh, look at that. That is a crazy looking fish. Look at those sticks on its back. That wasn't a minnow at all. And of course, there's his glass. I wonder if it's going to be in every picture. We'll see. While poor Mr. Jeremy sucked his sore fingers from those stickles, a much worse thing happened. A really frightful thing it would have been if Mr. Jeremy had not been wearing his raincoat. A great big trout came up, kerflop, grabbed Mr. Jeremy with a snap. Ow, ow, ow! He dived down into the bottom of the pond. So there he is, sucking on his fingers from that pokey fish, and oh, look, sitting there. Yep. Look at this trout. Sploosh, splash. Wow. But that fish hated the taste of the raincoat. In less than half a minute, it spat him out again. Sounds like Jonah and the whale, doesn't it? And the only thing it swallowed was Mr. Jeremy's galoshes. Mr. Jeremy bounced up to the surface like bubbles out of a soda bottle. So the trout spit him out, and his galoshes are gone. So he's trying to get out of there. That fish tried to eat him, but he didn't like the taste of his raincoat. Mr. Jeremy scrambled out of the water and hopped home, his raincoat all in tatters. "I've lost my rod, my basket, but it doesn't matter," he said. "I am sure I will never dare to go fishing again." Ooh, that scared him. That's why I like to fish from the bank. Wow, he's climbing out there, going home, he said. Mr. Jeremy Fisher's friends came to dinner. Sir Isaac Newton wore his black and gold waistcoat. Mr. Alderman Ptolemy Tortoise brought a fine salad, and instead of minnows, they had a roasted grasshopper with ladybird sauce, which frogs consider a beautiful treat. But if you ask me, I think it must have been nasty. The end. Oh, see, he's a newt. He's a frog. And there is the roasted grasshopper. Yuck! I love you, grandchildren.